All right, we made it, man. We were in the studio and the stream just disappeared. So if you guys were in the other one, I apologize. It's gone, but I've been on email all day with Streamlabs. They're getting it figured out. I'll have a meeting with them probably next week, hopefully sooner. And then we'll get the other streaming service all set up. They're going to help me get everything good to go. Wanted to interest you guys in listening to, right now I got Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero, Mike Garafolo. They're in a chat right now. I've been listening to them today. If you guys want, while we're waiting for some other information to pop up on the Lions schedule, I can pull the audio in from this. I don't think that there's any issue with me pulling this in on Twitter. It's not a live feed or anything other than audio. It's not video. So I'll pull it in. And we'll listen to it briefly, and then that way that'll allow me some time to get some things pulled up. Eric, what's happening, man? How's your day today?
Hey, fantastic. Went for a super long bike ride. Then I went for a side-by-side ride with the wife, someplace we've never been. Had a great time.
Eric cheats, by the way. He has an electric bike, so
hey,
you know.
Still got a pedal. You still got a pedal.
Yeah, until it's charged, then you hit the throttle and it goes.
Pedal assist. So as you pedal, it goes, and it's going about 20 miles an hour, even when you're pedaling real slow.
All right, Ian, I'll give you an easy one from Chicago Holic. Will Caleb break the
right,
Bears'
here we go. I'm going to turn these guys up.
season passing record in his first year?
I mean, I can't remember a rookie quarterback set up as well. And based on a few slow-mo videos from minicamp, he looks excellent. So I'm going to go with yes. I would say yes.
Sounds like somebody's at a basketball game doing this.
Eric Kramer, 38-38 in 1995. So that's not
never had a 4,000-yard passer in franchise history. The next four names on that list are all Jay Cutler.
I'm surprised.
And then we're talking about Chicago Bears.
And then Mitch Trubisky coming in sixth for 3,200 yards, 24 touchdown passes, went to the Pro Bowl
this year.
as a rookie in 2018. No. That is one of those.
I don't know if I can handle this audio.
He played and he started 14 that year. So he would have challenged for it if he had started the other.
Yeah, I can't handle the audio. There's too much going on there. There's a basketball game. There's sirens. There's all kinds of noise going on. That's just terrible. All right, let's do this. Let's talk about some of these opponents. We're going to do a live review when the Lions schedule pops up. Obviously, we'll talk about it. Let me make sure I get that loaded in real quick. All right, we'll put that off the screen. So, one of my favorite nights of the season, of the offseason, is tonight. I mean, we already know the opponent schedule, right? So there's no surprises there. The big surprise is where we play, meaning like primetime, when we play, what time, and then kind of how the schedule, flows. Last year, I think the Lions were huge benefactors of the schedule, giving them that opportunity to have multiple 10-game layoffs. They had 10-day layoffs in between a few games. And it really helped them to stay fresh, obviously get more prepared, for each opponent, help nurse injuries. I mean, an extra few days off is a ton for these players. These guys are used to getting ready in 6 days and being healthy and ready to go for the next game. imagine having another 3 or 4 days to be able to do that multiple times throughout the season. So the Lions were huge benefactors of that last season. Will we get screwed this season? I mean, that probably should be a poll question. Do you guys think that we're going to have a gauntlet of a schedule, or is it going to be fairly balanced? I think the NFL is trying to balance, but I have zero confidence in the people that make these schedules, because it seems like every year something's really screwed up. What do you think, Eric? Think it's going to be balanced?
50-50 on that. They like to throw us on Thursday and only give us a couple days off. Three games in 11 days like they did a couple years ago. That was a bunch of BS. I hope they don't do that stuff again.
Yeah. Someone said in your week 5 bye sucks. It does. I can't stand it when we have those bye weeks early. Yeah. I love to see a bye week, week 9, week 10. To me, those are like the perfect weeks. Or something I've always said about the schedule is, if you're going to play on Thursday on Thanksgiving every single year, why would you not just give the Lions their bye week right there? Or all the teams that are playing on Thanksgiving right there, or real close to it? There's no reason any team should ever have to play 2 games, in 10, 11 days, or, 4 days apart, or 3 games in 11 days. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So I'm hoping we don't see any of that.
Yeah. And one thing I've been doing all day is I've been getting all these schedule leaks. I've been putting them on my Facebook. I even have the whole leaked schedule. It's not confirmed or anything, but I have that all on my Facebook, and I have it up on my phone, and I want to see how many they got right. How many are actual, real, factual, what they're supposed to be.
What are you talking about?
So, I have all the leaks that have been put out so far on my phone. Okay. The entire 18-week schedule.
By who?
By just a bunch of rumor people online. They're saying they're
the only factual ones are the Monday night game, the Sunday night game in week 1, the Thursday night week 1. Those are all in stone factual. Lions supposedly, Bears on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, like all that stuff. It has.
Yeah, those are more rumors. Yeah.
Rumors. But I want to see how many of these rumors come true and how many don't, just to prove a point that you can't trust everything you see on the internet.
Right. Of course. Yeah. So the only one I care about is the primetime games. I mean, when I was on the conference call the other day, it was my only one question. I just said, I just want to know how many primetime games the Lions are going to have this year. If you have an insider at the team level, they've had the schedule, right? But they all sign NDAs. When this schedule gets shared amongst people on the teams, it's watermarked, so it can't be shared somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? They can't share it outside of their email system or whatever. It can't get officially leaked somewhere unless someone literally takes a picture of it, and then or writes it down and sends it to someone. So that's really the only way you're going to get.
So let's do a little test. Let's do a little test, Will. So my leaked version has 5 primetime games plus Thanksgiving. So in my mind, that's 6.
Well, it's 5, but 5. So if you consider Thanksgiving a primetime game, I mean, I've always considered it a primetime game, but the information that I received was 5 primetime games, period.
Yeah.
So that's what they would have all season. I just don't know if that includes Thanksgiving. I didn't clarify that question. So if you include Thanksgiving in there, then it would be 6 total, like you just said.
That's incredible.
Well, that's kind of like what we had last year. We had 4 last year, then we got bumped for the 5th plus Thanksgiving.
Yeah. And when we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, that's what we remember when we did that little over-under segment on how many primetime games we were going to get. That's what we were saying, either 5 or 6.
Donkey Kong's trying to say the schedule's out. The schedule's not out till 8:00. And it probably won't roll out till about 8:07 like it did last year. There's leaks. I mean, mostly rumors. Like, when I posted my thing on Twitter the other day, that was from a source within an area of the NFL that was giving me some information. We were on a conference call just talking about random stuff, really not related to the schedule. I just happened to ask that one question if anybody knew how many primetime games the Lions would have. And I was doing landscaping in the back on the tractor. And of course, I misconstrued the whole damn conversation. All I heard was week 1 Lions, Cowboys, 49ers. One of those two is going to happen. And I screwed it up. But it is what it is. I'm just hoping that the 5 primetime games stands and it's legit. I've never been burned. I've never been burned by a source, not once. So,
but hey, man, you stepped up and you said, "Hey, I screwed up. I messed up."
Oh, I did, man. I mean, I'm typing too quick and not listening too good, apparently. So got to slow it down. That's why I like to source my own stuff.
Ryan Whitaker.
I'm not going to be like, other people that just consistently say source, and then get it all wrong every single time.
Yeah.
Like, when does JC Horn start for the Lions? Does anybody know?
Yeah, I'm still waiting.
I'll be waiting too, probably for the next 10 years.
Ryan Whitaker's got a question. When will single game tickets go on sale? For season ticket holders, they can buy up to 4 additional single game tickets starting at right as soon as the schedule is released on the Lions website. And then
that's different.
To the regular everyday Joe Schmo like this guy, gonna have to wait a few weeks at least, probably.
You can buy 4 single game tickets, extras.
Yeah, up to 4 per game.
Per season ticket or per account?
I'm not sure. I don't know if it's per account or per. You got to look at your email from the league.
I never look at the damn emails, but if it's per account, then I should be able to get at least 8.
Yeah, dude, I'll pay you for all of mine right now. I'd rather sit with people I know.
Right.
If you guys don't know, I got on the list for season tickets last year and I got denied this year. I didn't get season tickets. So I'm on the list for next year to get my own season tickets. I tried to get 3 of them, couldn't get them. And I'm like, screw it. I'll even take 1. I told him when I went down for the Ford Field watch party with Will, and I would literally just take 1. I'll go by myself. I don't care. My wife doesn't want to go. My friends don't want to go. I'll go by myself. I'll sit with people I don't even know. I don't care. I just want to go to the game.
Those are some of the best games to go to, actually, when you just randomly go into a game by yourself and you just meet random fans. Those are some of the best.
I did it when you remember the season that the Vikings were playing at the University of Minnesota Stadium because TC Bank was getting built.
Mm-hmm.
I went there. I went to a Lions game all by myself, sat with all Vikings fans. Man, they were super cool to me. It was awesome. They gave me, some ribbon, but.
All right, real quick here. Want to get out some information. I promised you guys that we were going to be doing some bus trips this year to some away games. And, obviously you have to buy, your way into this. I did get everything situated with the bus company. Of course, there's some minor details that we still have to work out. Once the schedule is out tonight, I'll be on the phone with them tomorrow. Everything will be finished tomorrow. At some point, they should get me a final quote by the next day. So I would assume by Thursday, Friday, somewhere in there, I'll have the full itinerary for all the games. So Packers, Bears, Colts, Cowboys, Texans, Vikings, all away games. Those 6 games that I have chosen to offer a bus trip. What I will say is the Cowboys and the Texans games, these are going to be expensive. They're going to be and the last thing I have to work out is I'm working, I've called obviously Soldier Field, Nicole. I've called every ticket office for the local ball club between today and yesterday. And I'll call some more tomorrow to follow up, getting blocks of tickets to give you an idea of what we're looking at here. As far as here, I got to pull up this email. Well, I can tell you like Chicago. Chicago's obviously going to be the cheapest one. You're looking at 50 seats per bus. So obviously that helps with cost. I've got to, pay for the bus parking. Depending on which stadium it is, it's anywhere from $25 to $400. Just depends on where you're going for the night. And if we travel somewhere that's going to require an overnight, because these drivers can only do 10 hours, I guess, just like truck drivers, I assume. If they can only go 10 hours, they'll switch drivers, up and down, unless we want to stay in a hotel and not be on a bus, for 48 hours straight, back and forth, which I don't really want to do. So if we're going to Texas, plan on at least one night hotel so that we can get our way back. So that's what makes it more expensive, is it's all inclusive, your ticket, your hotel. If we need hotel, all of the fees, all of the tips. I mean, if you want to tip the driver extra, you can, but there will be a little bit of a pad in there to make sure that he's covered, or she. So you get game ticket. You're going to get a custom t-shirt for that game. You get a boxed lunch while you're on the bus, both ways. And then you'll get tailgate potluck. What I would ask is that everybody that's coming on the trip bring something. You'll be able to bring your own coolers. There's plenty of room. There's plenty of room for backpacks and everything else, your laptops, whatever you guys want to bring. There's plenty of room for all that. There's a bathroom on board, of course, but all the parking fees, overnight travel, hotel, if required, soft drinks and water will be available on the bus. You can drink on the bus, but your puke fee is $500. So if you do it, you're going to pay for it. So all of that stuff, and we're going to do live podcast, type stuff, either, on the bus while we're on our way down, or when we get there and actually tailgate. We'll be bringing tents and chairs and everything that we can set up when we get there and actually enjoy it, or we can just go right into the stadium. But we plan to get to each location at least 5 hours before kickoff. That would be the plan. All of the bus trips are going to leave out of Grand Rapids, unless it makes more sense to leave from somewhere else. But Grand Rapids is kind of, a really good spot to get to kind of all the locations. And the Bears, you're looking at roughly $450 a person, roughly. Now I'll firm this up on Friday, but you get all that included at $450. And we're going to sit in the premium deck at Soldier Field. So the deck it's a beautiful place to watch the game. Food and drink, everything is right there. Your own bathrooms, so we don't have to fight the crowds. So that's part of what we're putting together. So the Bears is about $450, premium seats, and then of course everything else is included. You don't have to drive. You just get to hang out with 50 other fans on the bus and have a great time. But I'll get everything put together by Friday, and we'll post it, and we'll get it rolling. The Texas trips, you're probably looking closer to, let's see here. Those ones you're probably looking closer to like $600 a piece per person.
Still not bad. That's still
right.
Not bad.
No, it's not. I mean, it just depends on what kind of hotels we want to stay in. I don't like to stay in crap hotels, but we get a booking rate. If we get 25 rooms or, however many rooms we need.
Yeah.
I like to be in my own room, but if people want to bunk up, they can do that.
Yeah.
So,
I would really like to do the Colts and the Bears. Those are the two games I'd like to go actually from Grand Rapids on the bus the whole way, do the whole experience with everybody.
Yeah, it'll be a blast. It'll be an absolute blast. So there'll be payment plans available too. And the way that it'll work, we'll establish an account. Obviously, everything will be tracked. All the money just goes straight to the bus company. And then 30 days before we leave, everything has to be paid. So you can make small payments. There'll be a deposit to get in. And then obviously you can make payments, every month between now and then to get it paid off if you need a payment plan. But everything will be tracked, receipts, email, everything, so that, you're all set. And then there would be a cancellation, fee, of course, if you did cancel. So minor fee, but that's just because now we have to fill that bus slot, and it makes everything else more expensive for everybody else. So anyway, it's not that expensive. I've seen the reactions already. It's not bad. It's really not when you think about it. Yeah. For me to drive from Grand Rapids to Detroit and park. It cost me no less just to drive there and back and park about $130 just for myself, just to get to the game. And then you got to buy a ticket if you don't have season tickets. And of course, at some of these games, they're really expensive. You're talking $150, $200 a piece just for a ticket. So you're $350 in before you even get food or drink or anything else. And you pay $450 and you don't have to drive and you're with 50 people. I mean, come on, it's an experience. That's what we're trying to do here. Trying to give experiences.
Yeah. I'm all about it. And there might be some of the games that I might just meet everybody there because I would love to go to the Vikings game. It just depends on when they are, really, for me, if I can go or not.
Well, we're about to find out here in about anywhere between 8 to 15 minutes. But before this schedule gets finally put out there, let's talk about some of these matchups. So Buffalo Bills. Early predictions about the Buffalo Bills. What are you guys thinking in the chat? I mean, this is a game that the last time we played the Buffalo Bills, it was a tight game. A game that I never expected to be close in, but the Lions made it close, and we are a much better team than we were 2 seasons ago. I'm expecting the Lions to really hold their own in this game. I don't care when it's played. Obviously, it's a home game, so that obviously gives the edge to the Lions. I know that when we talked about the schedule before, Eric, that I gave us 2 home losses.
Yeah.
I think I only did, or no, I think I gave us 1 home loss. Maybe I gave us 2. I only did that because I'm just trying to pad it a little bit. I really don't think we're going to lose a game at home. I really don't think we will. I think that, our fans are just too good and we carry the energy just too much. So,
oh my God. I saw some pictures of Ford Field from the playoffs today and it just brought me back. I'm like, oh, I want that feeling back so bad. I can't wait.
Is this Broski Bear a Bears fan? He keeps saying he must be because he keeps saying that the Lions are going to lose to the Bears. I mean, no, it's all good. I mean, I don't mind if other fans are in here. My question is, where's your team's release party for the schedule?
Yeah, why aren't you there?
Where that would be my only question.
I'd be over there watching. I wouldn't be in a Bears watch party or a Packer or a Viking watch party. No way.
No, I mean I would watch Grassi's, or somebody like that just because they're hilarious. But no, Bears will be lucky to win 5 games this season. I'm just going to tell you right now.
Yeah. Caleb Williams, the flop. Ugh.
Yeah, I see bust written all over him, but that's just a knee-jerk reaction. I'll wait to see how he actually plays. See if his team can actually get behind him. So the next game up, obviously the Chicago Bears. I've got the Lions handling the Bears just fine this year. It was said the other day on someone's podcast. I don't remember which one it was. I was obviously building part of the deck out back and just listening. And they made a very good statement because I've made a very similar statement. So I've got to agree that when you build a culture and you build a team like the Detroit Lions are, and you have this foundational effort of your core players, it is much easier to add pieces to that and get better as a team. They couldn't see where the Bears really got better. They got names. They spent a bunch of money.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not getting better as a unit, like as a culture, as a team identity. Where is it? Because when all of these high price free agents are gone, what are you going to do then? As where the Lions have built, their high price players from the draft. The guys that they just paid, they've either drafted or they brought in, Jared Goff, who, was their highest price free agent in a trade, I guess, to go back to what I said earlier today, that where we talked about Cam Sutton being the highest price free agent, DJ Chark being the highest price free agent that Brad Holmes brought in. Really, it was Jared Goff. I just didn't really count it because that was a trade. So Chicago Bears, obviously 2-0 for the Lions.
Yeah. If the Lions cannot beat a rookie quarterback in 2 games, especially if one of them is on Thanksgiving at home, dude, if the Bears beat us twice Broski Bear, I will buy you a ticket to a game next year, and you can come to Ford Field, and you can watch the Lions Bears game on me. You heard that here.
Make sure you bookmark that Broski Bear, because he might be tough to find next year. He's going to be on Netflix and traveling the world, hunting down Sasquatch.
Exactly.
So he might be in the middle of the woods with no cell reception,
up in the Yukon or something.
Right. That'd be sweet. All right. So up next, Arizona Cardinals. So Arizona Cardinals, my prediction for Arizona is this, and I've said it a few times. They are going to be the 2023 Texans of 2024. I think that this team is about to really break out this year. I think the Arizona Cardinals are going to be a tough team. No, I don't like Kyler Murray. I don't think that he's a great quarterback, but I think that the team around him has just really gotten good. So it's going to be a tough game for the Lions. What do you guys think about the Cardinals?
So the Cardinals, did they change a head coach or a coordinator or anything like that? I don't really follow the Cardinals at all.
I think they did 2 seasons ago. Hold on a second. They made several coaching changes in 23. It wasn't this year. It was 23. So Jonathan Gannon is head coach, Drew Petzing as the offensive coordinator. Gannon obviously has 15 years of NFL experience, including 2 seasons as defensive coordinator for the Eagles. Played college football as a safety at Louisville. Suffered a hip injury, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, in 23, they really started to revamp their team.
Yeah. And Kyler Murray came back from his injury towards the middle to end of last year, correct? If I remember right.
I'm not sure, but I know he's fully healthy this year.
Okay. So you got Kyler Murray. He's going into his 3rd or 4th year. He should be better. He should start getting it. If he's going to get it, he's got to start getting it pretty darn soon.
King SJ, what's happening, man? How you doing? We got a lot of people in tonight. I can't see a stream health report on how many people we have watching right now for whatever reason. Again, adding this Facebook group, it's not working. Yeah. I can't wait till all that stuff is done. I'm so done with this Streamlabs stuff. All right. So next up would be Dallas Cowboys. Look, there is no choice but to win. There is zero choice here. Lions have to win. Even if I thought that they would lose, I would say that they're going to win, because I have to be optimistic here and allow my fan to kick in at some point in time. So I'll be realistic, though. Could be a tight game. But the Lions have to win this game. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, have to.
We won the game last year. I don't care what anybody says. We won that game. And why do we have to go to Jerry World every single time? This is 4, 5, 6 years in a row we've went there. They haven't come here. Jared Goff's never played them at home. It's not fair. That's my version of that. They should have to come here.
Yeah, I mean that's been the common theme here. Everybody wants the Cowboys to travel.
Yeah.
But I don't know the reason why. I honestly have never figured out. I can't say that I really looked.
Yeah.
But nobody really understands why it keeps happening this way. I think some of it has to do with the way that the playoffs ended, for each team. Obviously, what teams you're going to have the next season, that's part of it. Mm-hmm. But I always thought we were on a rotation with them and the other NFC teams, and of course the AFC teams. So it does not make sense to me. I don't know how we keep ending up with them, but I think it does have something to do with how the season ended. I may not be as well versed into how all of that stuff works. Every year, it seems like I have it understood, and then maybe I just don't. I don't know.
Yeah. And the flip side of that coin is the Seahawks always seem to have to come to Detroit. We almost never go out there to play. So
All right, it's 8:01. Schedule is supposed to be out, but you know what? Last year it took like 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes. I remember being live last year and I was like, okay, it's 8:00. Here we go. And nothing burger. And so I'm on the site right now. I'm going to pull it in.
There you go.
Nothing burger.
All right, I'll look too.
Just bear with the silence here while we're making sure we find the schedule. It's supposed to pop up on the Lions website as soon as it's out.
It's pretty cool. We all get together.
What's that, buddy?
It's pretty cool. We all get to see it together.
Yeah, absolutely. There it is. We got it.
Hey, right on.
All right. So it looks like we are opening up against the Rams September 8th. And it is going to be the second game of the night. It's primetime game number 1. Man, that is going to be a heart stopper of a game. Wow. Week 2, Tampa Bay at Ford Field. So we have 2 games at home. 1:00 game. Week 3, and we'll go back through all these. We're traveling away, obviously, to the Arizona Cardinals. So that's not a terrible opening. I mean, the first game's a test. The second game, obviously, they're a playoff team. Third game, Arizona. Good to get them out of the way. We played the Seahawks early last year, but that's a Monday night game. So there's our second primetime game right there. Seahawks at home. Week 5 bye. That does suck. Who called the week 5 bye?
Yeah, mine. So far, this is my list that I put out on Facebook is 100% accurate so far.
And then we have the Cowboys on Fox.
4:00 game.
A 4:25 game. So that might be a double header primetime game. Is there a double?
When can they start flexing games?
Oh, I'd have to look that up.
That's later, I believe.
There's a very specific rule set for it. I want to look and see if week 6 is a doubleheader.
Now, it really, really sucks that we have our bye on week 5, but coming out of the bye, look what we have, the Dallas Cowboys. So we're going to be on 2 weeks rest for that game.
Yep. And then we play our first division game here against the Vikings, week 7, 1 p.m. game away. That's great. That means we get the Vikings later at home. Week 8, Tennessee Titans at home. So let's look at the way this is going. So home, because we have 9 home games. So home, away, home, away, home against the Titans week 8. Then week 9, we are away, Green Bay Packers, 4:25. Again, that's Sunday. That could be a doubleheader Sunday night primetime game. That week 10, primetime Sunday night, 8:20 p.m. That's our third definite primetime game. Houston Texans, week 10 at NRG Stadium. Week 11, Jacksonville Jaguars at home, 1 p.m. Colts, week 12, 1 p.m. I'm liking the tail end of the schedule here. Bears, of course, Thanksgiving.
Yep, there it is.
And then our fourth primetime game, Green Bay Packers, 8:15 p.m., week 14.
That's on a Thursday, so that's 2 Thursdays in a row we get to play.
And then another 4:25 p.m. game against the Buffalo Bills. Typically, your East Coast games are not, and especially anything at Ford Field, is not anything but a 1 p.m. game.
Yeah, that's strange.
So we've got the 4:25 slot quite a bit. Week 16, 1 p.m. game. Then look at that. There's our 5th primetime game. San Francisco 49ers. My source is good. I screwed up. Just remember that. Source is good. I screwed up. 5 primetime games for the Detroit Lions. Tampa Bay, then you got the to be determined, which means that is a flexible game. Last game of the season against the Minnesota Vikings. So now let's look at the travel details here. We're home. When we go to Arizona, that's a tough sled there. And back home for Seattle, then we take a bye, which is nice because, just like you were saying, we have to travel to Dallas. So having that bye week ahead of Dallas gives us that extra time to even travel. I don't know if there's any rules about traveling. Like, can they only travel so many days ahead, or can they get down there early? I don't know if there's rules about that, but I'm sure they do it the same every year anyway.
What I like so far too is 3 out of our first 4 games are at home, and then the bye.
Right. And so right here, you've got a full week between those 2 games. You've got a full week between these 2 games, and you go from away to home to away. I don't see any big layoffs between games, and then you go away again to Houston. So going away to Green Bay and going to away to Houston in week 9 and 10, that's a tough part of the schedule right there. And then you're back home for the Jaguars. And then you're down to Indianapolis. That's piece of cake travel.
Quick trip.
Yep. And then you're home for the Bears. And then you're home for the Packers.
How much is nice between Houston and the Bears, or whatever game before the Bears and the Bears? How much time is between those 2 games?
Between the Bears and the Bears?
Colts and the Bears.
That one's only 4 days.
4 days.
We always get screwed with the 4 days. Always. Yeah. But just looking here though, that's about the only game that's going to suck. But here you go again, 11 days, 3 games.
3 games in 11 days.
Yep, they did it to us again.
Then you're going to play on a Thursday again. Then you're going to have 10 days off, at least 10 days.
You have 10 days. Yeah, you have 10 days between that and the Packers game, which will help. But so you're going to have 4 games inside 21 days.
Yeah,
that's tough. But when you look at the level of talent here, like Jacksonville, that should be a win. The Colts they're going to be a tough team, but that should be a win. The Bears should be a win. And that's home. So we're not playing out in the cold right now against the Bears, but we are at the end of the season. Minnesota's at home. San Francisco is going to be a warm game. Buffalo Bills at home. We're not, you know what I mean? Green Bay Packers at home late in the season. So all
have 10 days rest going into that Bills game also.
What's that?
We'll have 10 days rest going into that Bills game at home.
Right. What I'm talking about is the weather here. So when you look at the weather, you're indoors. It's Houston anyway. Lambeau, November 3rd. That's not going to be a crazy cold game. Tennessee at home, obviously don't have to worry about it. Vikings, they're in a dome, right? Cowboys, that's a warm game, whether it's a dome or not, or open. So pretty good schedule. What do you guys think in the chat?
At the Bears is our only cold game.
Yeah, I'd say it is. When you look at the last part of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Warm. Bears is the only cold game. That's the only tough game on the schedule. Here's my question. Can Caleb Williams play in the cold?
Yeah, I don't know. He's a USC kid.
Did they select a quarterback that can actually play in cold temperatures? Guess we'll find out. Could be a snowball. Who knows? But you know what? I got to thank the source. You know who you are, for hooking it up on the primetime game call. I appreciate that. I apologize for screwing up the information because it would have been great information. I mean, it was all good that we were supposed to open up against another NFC team on primetime. That it's true. I just had the 2 games screwed up. But I didn't know it was the Rams. They didn't give me the Rams though. They just said it was another NFC team on primetime. So opening up on primetime, man, it's gonna be a banger of a week, like I said in the Twitter post. So
we don't play outside at all. Only 3 games: Texans, 49ers, Bears.
All right, so let's do this. Let's give our final predictions. I'm gonna write it down.
All right.
Final prediction, schedule release. Eric, you're up first.
So we're gonna go game by game, or are we gonna go
week by week? We'll start week 1.
Well, we got to win week 1.
Hold on. J Mommy said that Caleb Williams is going to have insulated nail polish. He'll be all right.
I didn't know they made that.
They probably don't. All right, week 1, LA Rams. They're coming back to the den. And what's your prediction?
So this is going to be a revenge game for Matt Stafford for us beating him by 1 point in the playoffs at Ford Field. But the atmosphere in Ford Field is going to be insane. One more time, we are going to boo him and his kids, and it's not going to matter. We are going to win this game. The Lions have their sights set on something much bigger than what they did last year. And if they have to take down a Titan like Matt Stafford and the Rams, well, then we're going to have to do it. That's going to be another close one. Lions win by 2.
You know what's crazy? I'm really surprised at the NFL narrative, if there really is one. And that was part of that podcast the other day too. That, and I'm not going to give away the goods because I want to talk about it in a video, or we'll talk about it tomorrow morning. Actually, I'll tell you after we get off. But the narratives. So the simple fact that they didn't set this game up for later in the season when there was more meaning to it, or potential more meaning to it, right? Like the whole playoff run and leading up to the playoffs, and then the games that were decision makers for who was in and who was out. I guess I would have expected to see these kind of games there. And instead we get the 49ers, which, has huge implications. I mean, what if we end up playing the 49ers twice in a couple of weeks? Play them once at the tail end of the season and play them again. What if we knock one of each other out? What if that's a game where we could potentially knock the other team out of the playoffs, or it could be for the first seed, the number 1 seed. There's a lot of implications there.
Yeah. Remember how anticlimactic the number 1 seed was at the end of the year last year? This year, it could be the exact opposite.
Well, I mean, we were still in it until that Dallas game really blew it for us.
Yeah.
I think that's the game that really kind of blew it for us. And quite honestly, I think we are still in it up until like week 17. I think we are still kind of in the hunt. Like it required a few things. I think it required the Rams to win out or something like that, or I can't remember now, but we were still kind of in it.
But like the Rams and the 49ers, when they played week 18, they didn't even play a starter. It didn't matter. The game just didn't matter who won that game.
Right. All right. So week 1, you obviously have the Lions winning this game. And you even put a point score in there, win by 2.
Yep. Win by 2.
Okay. I wasn't going to go scores, but,
yeah, why not?
Yeah, it's too early. I gotta see the team. All right, so week 1, obviously, I'm going with a win. I think that this is the last season for Matthew Stafford potentially, and we finally put him out of his misery in Detroit. I'll welcome him back to the city. I'm not going to boo his family or his kids, but I'm not rooting for the guy. Just like last season, I wasn't rooting for the guy. I'm rooting for Jared Goff. I'm rooting for the Detroit Lions. I'm rooting for Dan Campbell. And this is a big win for Detroit to start the season. It's going to be a huge game. Once again, it is going to be an exceptionally loud stadium. Like this, everybody is going to be at this game. Anybody who's anybody is going to be at this game that represents Detroit. It's going to be a great win. I'd say the Lions are going to win, and it's not going to be close. The score may look close, because Matthew Stafford does Matthew Stafford stuff in the fourth quarter. But this will not be a close game, in my opinion. I think the Lions win by 8. And I think that we're up by more than a dozen heading into the last half of the fourth quarter. Week 2, Tampa Bay.
Tampa going down. Lions win by 14.
Ooh, 14.
This is we put our foot on their throat and we just sucked the life out of them. We got so much better and we stole Carlton Davis from them. What did they do?
Yeah, I hear you there. I don't think that the Rams did enough to help out their defense. I think Tampa did. I think they did enough to still have a pretty stellar defensive line. But I'm in agreement that it's a win. I just don't think it's going to be by 14. I'm going to give the Lions a win, and I'm going to go by 6. I think that game's going to be a little bit closer than I really want it to be. Week 3, go for it.
Okay, so this one could be a nail, like a toe stubber. You know, when you get up in the middle of the night and you whack your toe and it doesn't feel so hot, you say some words you shouldn't say. This is the kind of game that is to me. For some reason, Arizona seems to have our number even when they're a bad team, and they'll have some rookie that goes off on us. But we're a different team now. We're not SOL. So the Lions are going to win this game, and I'm going to say by 7.
Okay. Here's what Arizona's saying. Arizona Cardinals should easily win these 3 games in 2024. Washington Commanders is 1. Carolina Panthers is 2. The New England Patriots is 3. So they don't have the Lions as an easy win. Which I wouldn't expect them to. I still think this is going to be a really tough game for whatever reason. Kyler Murray's mobile. Mobile quarterbacks have been the Achilles heel of this team forever, this Lions team. And it doesn't change in this game. I think that unless, if DJ Reader's in this game and Terrion Arnold is playing well, I think that we contain him. I think Brian Branch is going to be used heavily to try to contain Kyler Murray, bringing him down in the box. I think Alex Anzalone is going to be used quite a bit off the edge in this game. I think the Lions are going to try to do something different this year. I really do. I see a different defensive scheme within the same scheme. I just feel like we're not going to send our pass rushers as often. The old adage, goes, if you can't win, just stay home, right? If you can't win, just stay home. If the pass rushers can't win, just stay home. Contain, set the edge, play smart football. I'll let somebody else go win. Let the linebacker go win. Let your nickelback go win. Send somebody else. I feel like that's the better play in this game. I do believe that the Cardinals are going to have an exceptional season. It just doesn't start with the Lions. Lions start 3-0. I'm calling it a win. You said by how much?
By 7, but I think they stubbed their toe. I think they get down early. Like they're down by 14 or 17 points and they have to come back in the second half to win.
Yeah, I see. It's early in the season. It's only week 3. I mean, I think this is where teams start to separate themselves a little bit. I think the Lions are too hot at this point in the season. I think the run game is on fire already. And Sam Laporta is doing Sam Laporta things. Lions win by 14. This is our first double-digit win of the season.
Yeah.
All right, week 4, we got the Seattle Seahawks. I hate these dirty birds, man. I can't stand them.
Revenge, revenge, revenge. Lions win, and we absolutely crush them. Lions win by 17. They have a new coach, new coordinators. Gino's going to be Gino again. They don't have Pete Carroll anymore. It's going to be different.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with all of that. I mean, I feel like the departures for the Seahawks this offseason far outweigh the additions, namely Pete Carroll. I mean, Pete Carroll has had this team playing very well. I was actually quite surprised the fact that he was leaving the team, and it just didn't seem to make sense to me. I understand they may have had, maybe a couple of down seasons, but they've been perennial winners for such, a long time now. And they've always been a pretty solid team. ever since the run game kind of disappeared from Seattle, I feel like the game changed for them, and they just haven't been able to recoup. You know, you bring in Geno Smith. If you're going to live by the sword, you got to die by the sword. I think Geno is still a great quarterback. I think that he's elusive as they get. He's troubling for the Lions. Again, 2 mobile quarterbacks back to back. And I think the Lions, you know, they're going to obviously have their test with Kyler Murray the week before. That's going to get them ready for this game. Lions are riding high, going 4-0 into the bye. So Lions win this game. I do think this game still could potentially have some issues for us, though. If we can't contain Geno Smith, it could be a closer game than we anticipate. So I'm going to say the Lions win by 6.
Okay, so that's going to be our second primetime game. That's going to be a Monday night game. And I think there's going to be one stark difference this year with our defense against Geno Smith. I think that Aiden's going to stay home. He's going to seal the edge instead of trying to sack Geno on every single play. I really do.
You're kind of rolling with my same kind of new energy for the defense.
Yeah, but I still say we crush them.
How much did you have us winning by?
14. Yeah, I'm the ever optimist there.
All right. Week 5, everybody wins that week. It's a bye week, so let's head on to week 6.
So Steve K says, wait until you see the Liontron 2000. What the heck is the Liontron 2000? Dallas Cowboys, the ultimate revenge game at 4:00 on a Sunday. Man, I wish that could get flexed. I just might have to go to Dallas for the first time ever. Give my Lions some luck. Man, we need to win that game. I want to win that game. And I really believe that this is the year you're going to see Dallas kind of fall off in that division. Lions win by 7.
All right. Lions win by 7. So I'm trying to look up the schedule here for prime time. And
can I change how much they win by?
Yeah, just one second here.
Okay. All right. So I got one for you guys. Lions win by 3 on a 67-yard field goal by Jake Money Bates. After the Lions.
This doesn't make a bit of sense to me. 2024 NFL schedule prime time this must just be Monday Night Football. So Lions obviously have Monday Night Football, ABC exclusive on September 30th versus the Sea Chickens, and then December 30th versus the 49ers.
Yep.
Yeah, we got Monday there. So what's the Thursday night schedule?
That's against the Packers the week after Thanksgiving. So we got.
No, I'm looking for the full Thursday.
Oh, okay. Everybody that's on Thursday.
Yep. Because it said full primetime schedule, but what's this one here? All right, Thursday night football. You have the Lions December 5th, week 14. So let me save that. But we counted more games than that.
So they have 2 Sunday nighters.
So you've got the Rams opening up on Sunday night.
Yep.
All right, so let me find the Sunday night football. I'm trying to see if some of these games that are 425 slot are in fact primetime.
Houston Texans were another Sunday night football.
All right, here's Sunday Night Football. So LA Rams, Texans, and none of the other games appear to be Sunday Night Football other than Week 18, which is a flex option.
Minnesota and Detroit to end the season 2 years in a row. That's pretty cool.
Okay. Where were we here? So we are on the Cowboys. You had them winning by 7. Or are you seriously going to say Jake Bates wins by 3?
Yeah, 3 with a Jake Bates late second field goal to crush them and take their spirit away for the year.
All right. He's not even on the team, but whatever.
Yeah, it'll work. We'll see if we get him.
All right,
man.
All right. Week 6, Dallas Cowboys. So obviously there's a lot riding on this. I don't think, I need to spell that out for anybody. What a demoralizing loss last year that was a win. I would say that 85% of the football world, felt for the Lions during that loss. I swear to everything. If we see Brad Allen ref a game for the Lions this year, I'm going to lose it. This guy does not belong in football. He doesn't belong anywhere near a game. Heck, I wouldn't even allow him anywhere near a casino because I think that's what was going on in that game, to be honest with you. I don't know if I've ever shared that publicly, but I think that something else was going on in that game that was above our control, right? Big game. Cowboys are a mess. They really are. I think Jerry's kind of losing his grip on the team. They're going into a season now. Dak Prescott is making a ton of money this year. They did not extend him. He's going to be under an incredible amount of pressure. I think, quite honestly, he would love to leave the team if he had the option to next year. And this season, I think, could collapse in on the Cowboys. I think there's going to be too much pressure for them. But I don't think that's the reason why we win. I think the Lions come into this game just like they do against the Seahawks game before the bye, just pissed off at the way that the game went. The Seattle game, their team completely disrespected not only the players, right, by the way they played dirty, but the fans. And if this team really believes in the fans the way that they say they do, they seen what those players were doing to the fans during that game. And they're going to come back, against Seattle pissed off. And they're going to do the same thing against the Cowboys. They're going to come into this game ready to rip some heads. The Lions aren't going to pull the throttle off. I think, if anything, you're going to see Terrion Arnold probably get his first interception in this game. And I'm going to put that in. Terrion Arnold gets his first interception of the season, week 6. Lions win by 11.
Nice.
I don't think it's going to be close. I really don't. I think this is another game where the Cowboys kind of come back a little bit. The Lions kind of sit back, and prevent defense and let them have everything underneath. Don't let them get into the end zone. All right, week 7, Minnesota Vikings. Lions kick off interdivisional play here in week 7 against the Minnesota Vikings at 1 p.m. October 20th. What do you say, Eric? What are the Lions going to do?
Well, they're not going to let a quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings throw for 400 yards this year, so we win by 21.
Oh, that's crazy, wasn't it?
Yep.
Or let a receiver go for 200 plus. Yeah. I definitely see a win here, but this is just nuts to me that, we see all of these games that are potential wins. I have to be careful here because as much as I want to see the Lions win every single one of these games, I do feel like there's always that trap game, right? There's that opponent that you always overlook. And I think the ether's too high in week 1. I think the Lions just, they're riding off the season from last year into this year. They're too high. They're not gonna lose week 1 at home. They're not gonna lose week 2 at home. They're not gonna lose week 4 at home. Arizona's the one that scares me because it could go either way. The Cowboys game, again, the ether is just way too high here. And I think that they're going to win that game. Traveling on the road to Minnesota, Look, Minnesota, they got JJ McCarthy. I hope they start him because I think the Lions will absolutely tear him apart. JJ is not ready for the NFL. He was taken early, and he was taken early because quarterback needy teams do quarterback needy things. And he needs some development. So let's assume that JJ McCarthy starts this game. I think Terrion Arnold gets his second interception in week 7. Especially if only if JJ McCarthy is behind centered. And the Lions win by 9. Might be more, might be 19, but I say by 9. So you had a win, and it was a win by 21.
Yep. Yeah, we're going to absolutely crush the Vikings this year, even in their house. I know it's divisional games, and divisional games are always tough, but I just don't see it out of the Vikings this year. They lost Danielle Hunter. They lost their quarterback. Who do they have now? Sam Darnold or
they got Sam Darnold and JJ McCarthy, but you got to remember they also brought in 3 top tier linebackers.
Yeah, so maybe we win 21-0.
They brought in some dogs. Like it's going to be they brought in guys that are going to make it difficult for Sam Laporta, guys that are going to make it difficult for Amon-Ra St. Brown to be able to eat over the middle of the field. That's exactly what they did. I think they look at divisional play first. How do we beat the guys in our division? Because those are the guys that matter. Those are the guys that are going to, either keep us out of the playoffs or allow us into the playoffs. You got to beat your division first. So I think that's the most important key here is one, you just got to have more wins than somebody else in your division, but it helps if you can win all of your division games. Tennessee Titans week 8, Lions are at home. October 27, it's a 1 p.m. game. Few 1 p.m. games this season. What do you think happens here?
Ford Field, I'm going to say it's a win. Will Levis doesn't scare me one bit. A little bit of a mobile quarterback, but he's so erratic. He was fun to watch. I mean, when they won a couple games with him, sounds like they have some, what do you call it? Like bickering amongst their receiving core, who's going to play, who's not going to play. I even heard some bickering about them wanting to trade one of their receivers to us. So we'll see what happens there, but I'm going to say we win by 4. Okay.
So the Tennessean has this to say about the Lions and Titans matchup. It says week 8 at Detroit Lions. The better team wins this one. The 2024 Titans have a better shot than the 2023 squad would have, but that's still not saying much. Prediction, Lions 28, Titans 13. So their own newspaper is claiming that the Lions are going to beat them up, eat them up, chew them up, spit them out. And I think I'm going to follow with that same sentiment here. And the Lions, again, they're at home. I don't really see us losing a home game, but I feel like there's going to be one that creeps up on us. Could it be the Titans? I don't know. But I'm going to go a little bit lower prediction than a 15-point swing here. I think the Lions win by 10. And you had the Lions winning by how much?
4.
Okay. All right, week 9. We are traveling to Green Bay in what could be a really important matchup here with Jordan Love. Entering week 9, if the Lions are seriously 8-0 at this point in time, we're already talking playoffs, right? I mean, you're 8 wins in, you're halfway through the season, and you still have a good bit of schedule left here at home. After the Green Bay game, the Lions have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 home games to finish the season. So week 9, Green Bay Packers at Lambeau. What do you think is going to happen?
Okay. I have never personally been inside of Lambeau Field. I kicked myself in the butt for not going to Lambeau last year and helping it be a sea of blue. So for the first time in my life, this may be the game where I actually go help my Lions win a game at Lambeau. We've won the last 2 there. I don't think anything stops us from winning the third one in a row in Lambeau. Lions win by 7. Especially with my help.
You know what? This is a tough game. I think that this is where the Lions are going to start to feel some pressure. I think that the Packers are a pretty tough team defensively. Jordan Love, if he is the same quarterback that he was the last 7 games of the season last year, it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a very, very, very tough game. I hate to say that the Lions are potentially going to drop a game here to a divisional opponent, but I'm going to have to go with a win. The Lions are going to win. And we're going to be sitting at, 8-0 now. And I think it's going to be a tight game. Lions win by 5. You had the Lions winning by how much?
7.
All right, week 10. Week 10, Houston Texans on the road. This is a very, very, very deep defense. While you're talking about the Texans, I'm going to grab a Coke. I'll be back in 30.
All right. So here's my thing about the Texans. That coach brought them from the depths of hell last year. These guys are really, really good. That quarterback they picked up from Ohio State, Stroud, he went off. He was an absolute monster in year 1, something that never happens with quarterbacks. Could he have a sophomore slump this year? Yes. But I see this is the one where we're actually going to stub our toe. We're playing in their house. We're playing at night in their house. This is going to be a huge game for them. So I think if we are going to drop a game or 2 or 3 or 4 this year, this is going to be the first one. I don't think if we were to lose to Green Bay that we would lose this game. So I think this is going to be the one that we might drop the game and we lose by 3.
I got a quick question.
Sure.
Does the stream look terrible when we have things up on the screen like this? Should I just not have it up on the screen? And we just talk about it? I think that we'll just do that the rest of the way out. And a massive headache, man. I took a 4x6 to the brain today.
Uh-oh. That's not any good.
Oh, yeah. And it's on the camera, too.
Oh, jeez.
So the backyard camera saw it all go down. All right. So I heard win by 3.
Nope. You heard we lose by 3. I think the Texans are going to outdo us on Sunday night in their house. CJ Stroud and the boys, that defense is cooking and they are tough.
Yeah, so this is a tough one for me, everybody. As much as I believe the Lions are finally turning the page on the defense, and I haven't seen it, right? I just haven't seen it yet. So until we get to see some of these games, I may change, my feeling later, and I usually do. So after training camp, usually after preseason, I put out my real final predictions. This is just the pre-prediction, right? This is the preseason prediction. And then I'll get one done, the final real prediction after training, and I can see the players, right? I mean, you really can't put out a scheduled prediction when you don't know who's even healthy for week 1. We might suffer injuries during training camp. So, and I hope we don't. Fingers crossed, knock on some wood. But Houston Texans are going to be too tough for the Lions in this game. I think they bottle up our run game. Their defense is scary, like super scary. So I think the Lions drop this game too. But I don't think it's as close as what you said. What did you say? 3?
I said we lose by 3.
Yeah, I'm going to go the loss here. And I'm going to go by 9.
So this is our Baltimore game from last year, our butt kicking.
Well, no, we really got smoked in the Baltimore game. I don't think that we're going to be down by 3 scores at any point during the game. I just feel like it's just going to be a tough game for us to really, overcome this defense. So All right, moving on. Week 11. So at this point, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Lions are now 8-1. If we get out to an 8-1 start, that would just be incredible. Like, especially if it's a divisional opponent loss, I think that would be even better. Jacksonville Jags. What do you got?
This is where we make our rebound. We've never lost 2 in a row for over a year. We're not going to start it now. So this is where we have a revenge game back at home, Ford Field, super raucous crowd. We are going to crush these guys, win by 17.
All right. All right, Eric. Win by 17.
Man, I should have just picked us in every game and been the total optimist.
Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go ahead and bet this bet slip and just for the heck of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I'll do it too, and I'll show it on the stream this week.
All right. So week 11, Jacksonville Lions come off a tough loss to the Texans potentially. Of course, we don't like to lose games at home. I'm not confident that the Jags are doing much here. I mean, they have made some big headway. Hold on. Braylon said I need to check my DMs. What do I need to check my DMs? What'd you send me today? I never check that stuff. You know that. Oh yeah, I got the schedule, buddy. I appreciate it. Thank you. And I did have the 5 primetime games picked correct. Thankfully, I didn't look like a total moron this year. So Jacksonville Lions come off a tough loss, and shout out to Brandon, $2 super chat too, man. Appreciate you as always. Hey, you can like these things now. That's cool. I didn't know you could do that. Oh, there you go. So if I never did it in the past, I will now. Jacksonville Jaguars is a win. I mean, come on. It's got to be a win. By how much, I think is the question. Like, at some point, are we going to sit players because we're up by so much? That could be our biggest win of the year against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I'm going to go 17 points. I'm gonna go right along with Eric here. So we're going to live and die at the same score.
Yeah, I like it.
Week 12, Indy away.
Okay. So before I predict this game on Facebook today, I said that I'm going to give something away. I'm going to give away a prize to someone watching today. So you had to have been watching this morning also. What did I change from this morning till today? Either behind me, in front of me, on me, whatever. What's different from this morning? First person to put it in the chat is going to win a prize from me. Okay.
Did you tell them to look for that this morning?
Nope. I sure didn't. It should be.
Oh, you have
obvious. It should be very obvious. What's different? It should be super easy obvious. It's right there in front of you. Okay. So, nope, not a new hat, not the helmets. Yeah, and don't forget to hit that like button, you guys. First person to get it, I'm going to send them something. J-Rod says, what the F? I work mornings.
Well, you should have replayed it.
Okay. So, you might have to go back and watch it later. We'll see who wins this.
You might want to check out Braylon's answer.
Yeah. What's Braylon's? Let me see. You trimmed your beard. Nope, I didn't do that. No. That's something really super obvious. It's super.
No, easy. It's like down a little bit.
Yeah.
I think U of M dad might have it too, between him or Braylon.
Let me see. Yeah, the blue mic cover. See, I got it blue here, and I got a lion sticker on my mic now. So yeah, that's the new stuff. So U of M dad, I think you were first. Looks like it. Yeah. So U of M, I'll send you something. All right. I'll get a hold of you later. We'll figure it out. I'll send you something cool with Uber lights. All right.
All right. So I've got his email. So if he wants, I'll just send you his email. That way you can communicate.
Yeah. I'll just need to get his address. I'll ship him something tomorrow.
Cool, man. That's awesome.
Thanks, man. I'm glad you guys are paying attention. So here we go. Indy, man. I don't know what to think of Indy. Some years they're good. Some years they're bad. Last year they were, okay. Did they make the playoffs last year? I don't think they did. I think
they had a pretty tough season.
Yeah. So I think they're going to have to prove it to me. I really want to go to this game. This is the one that I really want to go on the bus trip with everybody from Grand Rapids. I'll drive from here 5 hours down to Grand Rapids. Then I'll get on a bus and ride another 3, 4, 5 hours, whatever, down to Indy. Just to be with you guys and have some fun. I think it's going to be a blast because I met Will down at Indianapolis at the Combine. And we got to go to Lucas Oil Stadium. That's where I really met Will for the first time. Met him. I met him at the San Francisco game, but we got to talk and, hang out at the Combine. And I really enjoyed Lucas Oil Stadium. It's very old. It's an ancient stadium. It's way older than Ford Field. Kind of reminded me a little bit of Silverdome-ish almost, but not big like the Silverdome. Very, very small stadium. And I think it's going to be a very intimate, fun place to see a game. I can't wait. That's a game I really want to go to. I want to get to some of these other stadiums other than Ford Field. I wouldn't mind hitting them all. So this is going to get me on at least that one for this year for sure. I'm going to, and San Fran will be the other one. Even though I've been there before. So on to Indy. What do I think? This one, I think the Lions handle them pretty good. Get out to a nice 14-point lead by halftime, and we end up beating them by 24.
What?
Big time.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be a smoke show.
I'm on the opposite end of this spectrum.
Yep.
I got the Lions losing.
Really?
The Colts, yeah. Look, man, their defense is no joke. And yeah, they went 9-8 last year. They were like third in their division. Didn't have the greatest season. I think that they bounce back, man. I think that their defense just might be too much to handle. Let's look at who did the Colts add in free agency.
Who's their quarterback?
That's a good question. Hold on.
I don't even know.
Richardson. That's right. Richardson was hurt last year.
He got hurt though.
Yeah, I'm not worried about their offense as much as I am about their defense.
Yeah.
If Anthony Richardson can't stay on the field, obviously, we'll be fine. But Anthony Richardson is that quarterback that nobody really knows enough of yet because he consistently gets hurt. He just has an injury history. If he can stay in the game, look, this dude has a cannon for an arm. This is where our cornerbacks could potentially get, really tested with a lot of deep throws, which I think will be fine. I hope. I hope that AG, definitely by week 12 has this defense figured out. I just think their defense is too tough. I really do. They added, let's see. They kept Zaire Franklin, Tyquan Lewis, Kenny Moore, Grover Stewart. Let me see who they added. They re-signed safety Julian Blackman. They signed Raekwon Davis. They got their backup Joe Flacco. See, that's what scares me is if Richardson's not in, Flacco does Flacco things. But I'm going to go with the loss here because it's an away game. We need a loss somewhere. Not that I want us to have a loss. I feel like this defense could be too much. Shout out to Braylon again. $2 super chat says, have a feeling Green Bay will catch us slipping. I hope not, man. We slipped hard in that Thanksgiving Day game. So anyway, loss for me, but I'm going to say by 3. We don't have a kicker that game that can kick a field goal. Unless it's Bates,
Bates get hurt or something.
We just don't have a field goal kicker.
He's going to be getting it on by then. He's going to be like up for MVP or something by then.
Yeah, right. Week 13, Chicago Bears, Thanksgiving, 12:30 p.m. kickoff at Ford Field. What do you got?
Oh, which one is this again?
Thanksgiving Bears.
Oh, Thanksgiving Bears. Oh, we crush them. Not a problem. No problem whatsoever. I am not scared of Caleb Williams or the Bears. Not one bit. I don't care what Brewski Bear or whatever his name is says. I don't care. Caleb Williams has bust written all over him, 1,000,000% in a great big tattoo across his forehead. I wouldn't have wanted the Lions. I wouldn't have wanted the Lions to draft that kid with a 1,000-foot pole. No way, no way, no how. And that team is 100% completely bought. They don't bring anybody up through the trenches. They're not developing anyone. They're just buying people. It doesn't work. It's been shown over and over and over again. It doesn't work. So Lions by 17. We get rid of the Thanksgiving curse. We start winning again on Thanksgiving.
All right. So you have a win by 17 against the Bears. Look, I'm in sync here. I think that we finally shake the Thanksgiving Day gravy off of our jerseys and make it happen. I think that they finally get to enjoy some turkey ducking or whatever, with the John Madden turkey ducking or whatever it is. They finally get to eat some turkey legs and enjoy Thanksgiving the right way with the W in Detroit, and then enjoy the Thanksgiving Day parade that morning. Look, Lions win. They got to win on Thanksgiving this year. I think that setting us up with the Bears, another divisional opponent on Thanksgiving, is 2 seasons now in a row. This has to be a big win for the Lions. Has to be. It's a must win. But I don't know if it's by 17. Did you say 17?
Yeah, 17.
You like the number 17. I'm going to go 13 in this game. So I saw some comments there about Indy. Look, Indy's got a top 10 defensive front, I should say, in my opinion. They have a top 10 defensive front this year. They did struggle last year, big time. The quarterback is not what I'm worried about. It's the defense. And you can have a team will lose 3-0 and be a defensive game. Not that I think the Lions are ever going to have a goose egg on the scoreboard. But you can have a pretty solid defensive game and just lose. And I feel like that's going to be a pretty good defensive game. Both sides of the ball.
Even Indy, their running back, what's his face? Jonathan
Stewart.
Yeah. No. Who's the running back for Indy? Really good. He had a bad year last year. I see him having a little bit better of a year this year. He really took a step back last year.
Oh, Jonathan Taylor. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor. That's it.
Taylor. I don't know why I said Stewart.
My brain froze.
If he comes back and has a good season, I think the Lions defense against the run obviously is going to be superior, but we'll see what happens. Green Bay is up next, week 14, back at home, 2 games in a row. Actually, we got 3 home games in a row.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we got Bears, Green Bay, and Buffalo. So even though we only have, 15, 16, 17, 3 games in like 17, 18 days, they're all at home.
Yeah. All right. Green Bay at home, Thursday night, 1 week after Thanksgiving. We're on this high from beating Chicago. We're 9-1. And we crush the Green Bay Packers. We win by 10.
You said 9-1?
Wouldn't we be either 9-1 or 10-1 then, right?
I had my schedule was 8-1 by week 10.
Okay.
So 8, 9, 10. I had us 10-2 at week 13.
Okay. So I must have had 11-1 then.
And then you had us, I'd have to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I only had 1 loss.
9, 10, 11. Yeah, you had us at 11-1 by week 13.
And we beat the Packers. They kind of try to come back, but we beat them by 10.
All right, so this is where the Lions finally put it all together. Week 14, they're not playing no games. They're ready to go to the playoffs. This win in this week could have playoff implications. The Lions could slide in as the divisional. They could win the NFC North, I think, by week 14 or 15 this year, is my guess. Assuming the Bears are going to be nobodies. The Vikings, they're going to have spurts here or there. I think the backers are the only team that has any sort of contention with the Lions this year. But I think by week 14 or 15, the Lions could wrap it up. So the Lions aren't playing any games here. Lions win by 22.
Nice.
Week 15. Buffalo Bills. It's always a tight game at home.
Yep. So I say we win this one by 3.
How much did you have us winning by in week 14 again?
For the Packers?
Yeah.
By 10.
10. Okay. Make the cheese go moldy, says King SJ. Some of the best cheese is mold, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
All right. So week 15, Buffalo Bills, tough game.
Yep.
It's at home. And then we go to Chicago, and then we go to Levi's Stadium, and then we're back home at Ford Field. So, man, this is a tough one for me. Because I just don't see us. I just don't see us going 15-2. I think it's possible. I just don't see. I mean, last year I said we were going to go 15-2, and then I came back and said that we would go 13-4. But this is a tough one for me. Buffalo Bills have always played us tough, always. I think they're a pretty darn good team this year too. They did lose some defensive pieces. I'm going to have to go with tough, grinded out win against Buffalo. But I'm going to say win by 2.
Ooh, I like it.
It's going to be a tough game. All right, week 16, we got 3 games left. Right now I have us at 12-2 on my schedule. And you only have us with 1 loss.
Yep.
So right at this point, you have us at 13-1.
Yep.
Okay.
And this is where we play the Bears. We lock up the number 1 seed. And this game might be a little closer than the first one. They're getting their feet under them. So Lions by 5.
Lions win by 5, week 16. Okay. So again, look, I feel the same as you do. I just don't think that the Bears have it. Even though this game is back at Soldier Field. That's going to be a cold game, by the way, for us to travel to Chicago. It's going to be a cold game, but I'm up for it. Yeah. I still think it's a win, but I think it all depends on the weather in this game too. I mean, we've seen Jared Goff play fine in the cold. I mean, he did against Green Bay. I think that we're going to have to rely heavily upon our run game. And as long as our offense is healthy in this game, I think that the Lions do it. I think that they do win at Soldier Field, which would be a phenomenal win. But I don't think that we're quite wrapping up the number 1 seed yet. I do believe it takes 14 wins this year to get the number 1 seed. I do. I think 14 wins, just very similar to last season. I think that 14 wins is the mark that we have to try to hit to get that number 1 seed. But I'm going to go with a win here, and I'm going to go by 9. I think that we run the ball all day down the throat. Week 17, we are back at Levi's Stadium. It is Revenge City.
Yes, indeed. I 1,000,000% plan on going again. I want to go back to California. I thought it was awesome. I want to go eat some of that amazing crab down on Fisherman's Wharf once again. I want to take my wife with me this time, and I want her to experience the best Lions win she's ever seen. But this one's going to be different than any game that she's ever been to. This is going to overtime, and we are going to win on a walk-off JMO end around by 6 points.
Say that again?
So in overtime, JMO's going to get a little end around. He's going to run it just like he did in the NFC Championship game, and he's going to score a touchdown. We're going to win by 6 on the very first play of overtime.
So we're taking this to OT?
Yes.
So we're going to be, it's going to be after midnight here. I don't know, man. I don't know about OT, but I love it. So you got to win by 6. I didn't expect anything less than a win. So that now puts us at 13, 14, 15, and 1.
Yes.
By your schedule.
And locking up number 1.
Look, I think the Lions dance with the best of them. I really do. At this point on my schedule, we are 13 and 2. And we need that extra win to wrap up that number 1 seed. This is a number 1 seed situation here for both teams. I think that this game brings it down to the wire. Whoever wins this game gets that first week bye. Lions win. I don't believe it goes to overtime, but I think that the Lions win, and I think that they win with another go-win route to Amon-Ra St. Brown and get it done. But I'm going to say this is a blowout almost. The 49ers don't come back in this game. Lions win by 15.
I like that. Even better than mine.
All right, so week 18, I'm going to go first on the last week. The Lions do not play their starters. It goes against everything that Dan Campbell has always preached. Hendon Hooker comes in and gets the majority of the snaps that game. Lions lose to the Vikings in the last week of the season because the game doesn't matter.
You stole my thunder. That's what I was going to say. I wanted to appease all the Hooker people that he was going to play and we were going to lose by 10 points. Something silly. Yeah, so lose by 10 and Hendon Hooker plays and he lights it up, but we still lose because we're resting every starter.
Yeah, so I got us losing by 9. It's funny you said 10. All right, so Lions go 14 and 3. I think that that's the magical number this year to win the overall first seed in the NFC and give us that first week, bye, that first round bye, which gives the Lions, some home field advantage. They just got to keep on winning and keep on trucking. So I see Terry and Arnold having a couple of picks so far. We didn't talk much about everybody else, but this is really, just kind of off the cuff conversation here. We'll get more deep into the schedule and talk more independently about each game matchup. Couple of updates. So the next night live will be Friday, 7:30 p.m. start time. And then next week, Monday, we're gonna start doing, we got over under reactions on Monday, but next week, Tuesday, we're gonna start doing Lions Legends. So we're gonna talk about some of the old players, some of the old Hall of Famers and the gold jacket wearers of Detroit's legacy. And we're going to start bringing those people back alive because I think that it's always good to reach back to your history to talk about who you once were and who the Lions are today. So that's going to fill a lot of our time between now and OTAs and training camp. There's going to be a lot of Lions legends to talk about. Eric, I'll get you files and stuff of everything that I've already written. But if you want to read about some of the old Lions legend stuff, you can. I think it's still on my website, but oh shoot, that's right. Megan just texted me. I totally forgot. Next week, change of plan. Sorry. I am going to be out of state next week. I got Cleveland Clinic Monday. So I will not be around on Monday, but on Tuesday, if I'm able to get a signal, we should be able to go from the hotel room or something.
So no more show on Monday, correct?
Nope, not unless I can figure out a way to give you access, to be able to do it, even if you wanted to.
Okay.
So I guess we'll come back on that. I'll have to figure out a schedule. I'll have to put a schedule up so everybody knows what's happening. But anyway, Lions go 14 and 3, my schedule. They go 15 and 2 on your schedule. Overall thoughts by the chat. What does everybody think here? Is this even a possibility? Are we crazy?
I'm the ever optimist. I would love to know what Tony thinks right now. I bet you he says like 9 and 8 again. Oh God.
I don't know. I don't know him well enough to know what he would say, but Look, I think the Lions are in the playoffs. I think there's no doubt that. I don't think that there's any doubt that we're back in it. I just know how hard it is for teams to get back. You know, anything can go sideways in any of these games. I mean, if you suffer a rash of injuries early, I mean, the whole season can go sideways. And I think that, you know, there's a certain element of this fan base that has legit worries, legit worries about depth. Tony even has some worries about depth. And I think that what you see Brad Holmes doing is he's trying to curb that possibility really from happening by addressing every position as often as he can. I think he's done an excellent job at spacing out, how the contracts are going to fall, for some of these top tier athletes. I think he's done an excellent job with that. It's not easy to build a team that wins, that is successful, that doesn't lose players. Because every year, some of those players are going to move on for bigger and better paychecks because you just had a very successful season. And maybe that player had a very successful season. Maybe all they care about is money, and I wouldn't necessarily say that we have a bunch of guys on this team that are like that. But at the end of the day, you just don't know what you don't know, right? To take the words out of Brad Holmes' mouth, we just don't know these guys. It's not like I talk to him on a daily basis. We only know what we read and what we hear and what we see. So you never know. I just know it's really difficult to keep teams together when teams win often. And that's why it is so difficult to get back. When you look at Super Bowl winning teams, what happens the next offseason? It's a mass exodus of players. The good teams that have the right coaching staff and the right general management, up and down the board, have the right coaching staff as far as the assistants and everything. Those are the teams that seem to keep players more often than not. And I think that the Lions have the edge there. I really do. I think we got better this year. I really do. I think that we got better this offseason. I don't know how you feel, but I guess you can let me know. Do you feel like we got better this offseason? Like, do you really think that this team is better than where it was this time last year?
I do, especially after gutting the secondary, starting over with the secondary completely. The three starters we had scheduled for last year. Let's see. You had Cam Sutton. You had the kid that got hurt after 2 plays, and then CJ GJ. They're all gone. They only lasted 1 year. So we didn't have anybody behind them last year when all 3 of them basically got hurt. And this year, you could feel it. So you could feel it after we sent Aaron Rodgers packing in his last game and we went 9-8 that season. You could feel we were ready for that next step. Well, just like that last year, I feel that this year we're ready for the next step, the actual real get to the Super Bowl step. And then after we make the Super Bowl or we win a Super Bowl, you watch, we're going to lose coordinators. They're going to become head coaches. Everyone's going to be aiming at our players. So any free agents we have, people are going to try to snag them. Send better offers than we can because we won't have the money for them.
That's a big ticket item right there, is you're spending all your cap. Now we will get a, influx of cash every year because the cap resets, and they're expecting $280 million next year, which is another, roughly $26 million bump, in cap. So that will help level the playing field a bit. And if you've already established your core, you don't necessarily have a ton to replace. It's just the 1 year guys. And that'll be a segment that we go through pretty soon here. Is we'll start looking at, the 1 year maybe we'll do it tomorrow. We'll look at the 1 year contracts and, what are we looking at replacing next year? How many available positions are there going to be next year? I think the goal is try to eliminate as many open spots at starting positions as often as you can. And it might be a good exercise to kind of look at where did the Lions have these open holes last season, coming into this offseason, prior to the draft, prior to free agency, and how did they fill those holes? And I spoke to it a few times where defensive backs scared the crap out of me because we had nobody signed at all really this year. And they had a ton of holes. I expected Brad Holmes to go heavy in free agency in the draft at DB. And that's exactly what he did. He brought in 5 initially, 5 big names in this draft and free agency. And he really solidified the position all over again. Carlton Davis, Meek Robertson, Terrion Arnold, Ennis Rakestraw, and Sion Vaki. The top, 5 picks and free agent acquisitions to help reset this defense and give it some longevity. Plug 2 of those holes, for 3, plug 3 of those holes for 2+ years, and 2 of those holes for 4+ years, and 1 of those holes for 5 years with Terrion Arnold. So he's doing the right things, man. Brad Holmes has really got a firm grip on the future of the Detroit Lions. And that's partly why I love to talk about Lions legends in the past too, because, it really helps to shed light on where we were and where we came from and who we are, and what made the Detroit Lions the Detroit Lions. So anything else you want to add tonight before we take off?
No, I'm good. 15-2, number 1 seed going to the Super Bowl. I'm the ever optimist. Let's go Lions. Jared Goff. I can't wait to sit in Ford Field to open it up on Sunday night against the Rams. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And it's going to be an epic opening week. So I'll hammer on tickets right away and see what I can't purchase for opening week if we're able to get 4.
If you get the extra one, remember I'm in. I'll pay you right away.
No, I know. Yeah. I got you. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys joining us tonight. Lions have a really good schedule. The more I look at it, and I'm sure I'll look at it differently when I'm, laying down for the night, but it's a pretty solid schedule. We have that gauntlet again that I was afraid of that we were going to have again this season. Excuse me. It's time to get off when the yawns start kicking in. The week 12, 13, and 14 is the hardest part of the schedule. But what makes it easy or easier to handle is that 13, 14, and 15 are all at home. So the NFL did us a solid there by saying, yep, you're going to get screwed with some, short windows here. But we're going to give you, 3 games at home, a 3-game homestand. When's the last time we've had a 3-game homestand? It's been a long time. I don't know if ever that I've ever been to a 3-game homestand.
I don't remember that.
So it's nice to have, and it's in between, the Colts and the Bears away games and then Levi's. So it's a great schedule. It really is. I think that it's a winning schedule. It's set up right for us to be able to, stay prepared, stay ready, stay fresh. It'll be a fun season. This kicks off the season, guys. Appreciate you guys joining. Sorry, Trace. I didn't mean to share the yawns there. Braylon Dennis says, see y'all later. Super Bowl champs. Loading. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Tracy was saying also in the chat that week 18 is all to be determined.
Yeah, it's TBT. TBD.
They're going to flex a 4 and 8 o'clock game on Saturday and Sunday. If I read what you put correctly.
Yeah, so just like they did last year, week 18 TBD. Actually, last year they had week 17 and 18 TBD. But because we have San Francisco 49ers already slotted for primetime, we didn't need that TBD. So this year, just our last week, we have an extra chance to get another primetime game. I love it. If the Lions are doing well and, they want to showcase the Lions, great. The only question I have is why on earth did you slide the Vikings in there then?
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be any competition here between the Vikings and the Lions.
Nope.
At all. All right, hang on for a minute after the stream. I want to share with you a topic that I thought was really interesting.
Sure.
All right. Appreciate you guys. Braylon, I did not see any Netflix games for Christmas. We're not playing on that Christmas week. We play on the 22nd, which is on Fox. And then obviously the 30th is ESPN, ABC, Buffalo Bills, the CBS. Obviously, Thursday night games are on Amazon Prime. No Netflix, not this year. But what a huge deal for the NFL, man. Incredible. All right.
3 years, I think they did.
Yeah, it's nuts. You guys rock. Appreciate you guys joining us tonight. And we'll be back tomorrow morning. Rise and Grind morning show right here, 8 a.m. on Rockdown Podcast Network. Your home of the Rockdown Detroit Lions podcast and Off the Cuff evening podcast. All right, you guys take care.
Rock on, everybody.